All right, this video right here is going to go over writing and graphing using y equals mx plus b, and this is going to represent linear equations and relationships between different entities. So we've got an example problem right here. It says a cab company charges a $3.50 boarding fee and a 50-cent per mile. Write an equation to describe the relationship between the cost of the cab ride and the number of miles traveled. So the first thing that I want you to do is I want you to identify what M and B is. If you remember, M is always going to be multiplied times something else. In this case, whenever you've got something per mile or an amount per hour or an amount per day, that's your key that this is your M and this is your X, because M stands for is your rate of change. So M is 0.50, and then B, this is kind of like your flat rate is kind of what I call it. It's not always called that, but that's a good way to think of it because that's not going to change. It's not going to be multiplied by anything. So B is your just standard fee or upfront fee or something like that. And in this case, it would be $3.50. Okay. So now that we've got M and B identified, then we can write our equation. This would be the answer right here. It's y equals 0.5x plus 3.5. Okay. So we're going to use this equation to find our coordinates. That way we can represent our linear equation. So I'm going to draw a table. And my x is over here, y is over here. And whatever, look at your problem, whatever is being multiplied times m, that is your x. So in this case, it's going to be mile. Okay. All right. And this is going to be your amount. So let's just make it easy. You can come up with any amount of miles that you want, because regardless of whatever you choose for X, it's always going to show the same relationship, and that's the whole point here. So I'm just going to go with our standard 0, 1, 2, and 3. And now we're just going to use this equation right here, plug in for X, that way we can figure out what Y is, and then we can go ahead and plot. So we've got M, which is 0.5, times X, which in this case it is 0, plus 3.5, which is B. Now, anytime we multiply something by 0, it's always 0. So in this case, our Y is 3.5. Okay. Now let's substitute our X for 1 mile. We do 0.5 times 1 mile plus B, which is 3.5. And that equals 4, because we have 0.5 times 1, which is 0.5, plus 3.5, which equals 4. Now we're going to do the same equation, but we're going to sub 2 for our x, plus 3.5. And 0.5 times 2 is 1, plus 3.5 is 4.5. And then now we're going to substitute x for 3, so 0.5 times 3 plus 3.5. 0.5 times 3 is 1.5 plus 3.5, and that equals 5. Okay. So what this means is that at mile 0, we have, the cost of the cab is $3.50. At 1 mile, the cost of the cab is $4. 2 miles, the cost of the cab is $4.50. And 3 miles, the cost of the cab is $5 flat. So now what we want to do is we want to go ahead and plot it on our graph. Remember, this is our X, and these numbers right here, those are our Y. So whenever X is 0, that means our Y is 3.5. So you're going to come up here. This is X, this is Y. And we're going to go to 3.5. And when X is 1, Y is 4, so 1 is right here. So that's going to go right here. When X is 2, Y is 4.5, so 2, 4.5 is right here. And then when X is 3, Y is 5. And if you were to draw a line through these, you would see that they would go in a straight line. that shows us the linear relationship that it's got. And I know my line isn't perfect, but the idea is, okay? And so that's how you write and graph using y equals mx plus b. Hope this helps you on your homework.